Anyway, so this here, from the artichokes to here, and then also on the other side of the artichokes, it's just sort of, it's still getting a little bit of salad mix out of that and arugula, but then I'll till that down, and then mid-May I'll plant my buttercup squash in there and here. The reason being, I want to keep as far away. You got to separate your squash so they don't interbreed, so they don't cross, hybridize. So I got to have my buttercup squash, my cucurbita maxima here, and then another maxima down that far corner.
You'll end up having hybrids.
Yeah.
They do that pretty easily, don't they?
Oh yeah, and especially with the bees, and the wind. There's so much wind. The wind pollinates probably as much as the bees do around here. So, yeah, there's three main squashes. There's a cucurbita pepo, which is pie pumpkin. Cucurbita maxima, which are like buttercup squash, and then also like the big jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. And then there's cucurbita moscata, which is like the Zeppelin delicatas and stuff.
And what's that? Is that
they're a real nice. They're a real little small squash. They weigh about a pound a piece. They're sort of yellow with those green stripes. They sell they're real expensive, and they're just they're the kind of thing that people really die for them. They just and they're good and stuff. But a lot of this stuff it's I don't think it's as groovy as other people. And here's some late choja beets I put in last year. I still got beets down there that we're still eating. And so I haven't even bothered with these, and I'll just let them go, and we'll continue to eat beets until my new ones, which I've just started to plant, come up in July or so. This is a kale. This right here is, you see the red rib? That's red Russian. And then the white rib is white Russian. And then there's some wild kale. See how frilly that is? Mm. And then there's
fun. Look at that.
And then there's Tuscan kale or dinosaur kale. Let's see if I got any baits in here.
Tasty.
You're getting the tops.
And I believe that's Russian, white Russian. I got some Scots kale over there though.
Whoops.
And anyway, there's all these different kales. I just put them all together in a mix. And then these have been going all winter, so we've been eating fresh kale like this all winter. In fact, Kurt came out and bought a bunch of kale for me for Willow's restaurant on Lummi Island a couple weeks ago. And I basically just cut this whole thing, and they've come back since then.
Wow.
So they come back real fast. They're chock full of vegetables. They're a real good fresh vegetable all winter that nothing phases them. They just continue to grow. And they're actually the ancestors of all the brassicas. Now here I have, that's either arugula or radishes coming up. I believe that's arugula and this is radishes coming up. And this is my salad bed. This is these blocks are 75 feet long, and that's 30 inches. So that's a 30 by 75 salad bed block. So when I walk down it, I can actually straddle it and cut salad mix. See? Wow. That's why it's 30 wide, rather than being 4 foot wide. Because if it's 4 foot wide, you basically got to go down one side and down the other. See? Now these are called cloches. You can see how it helps. It's like a mini greenhouse, see? And if I want to, I got all the caps. I can put the caps on. But you can see that it doesn't really matter that much, because that one isn't doing that much with a cap on. Versus this one is just fine, about the same with a cap on.
Now what
with
is
a cap
this
off.
again?
I got all the caps.
No, I mean what's
it's called a cloche. It's like a mini greenhouse. Yeah, cloche is a French word, C-L-O-C-H-E.
Oh, but I mean what plants are in there?
Oh, this is all cabbage.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that.
And
it's all what? Cabbage?
There's different kinds. Like for instance, this stuff, I ran out of these cloches, because I only got a couple hundred of them. And then so the last cabbages I planted were early golden acre, which is an open pollinated, really hardy green cabbage. So I let them, let them forage.
Do you want us to start saving our containers?
Yeah, if you got things like this, yeah, I love them. I'll take all of them you got.
Okay.
But they got to be the half-gallon containers.
Are milk jugs good?
Or
not so good?
Milk jugs are okay, but see, they don't.
They're not strong enough.
I'm not really keen on them because they. I suppose they're all right. Yeah, I'll take those.
Juice containers.
I prefer the clear ones.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
But so see, I make hard cider for Tony, and I have for years. That's why I got all these.
Okay.
This is all, you know.
Yeah, we don't usually get these kind,
Yeah.
but if we have them, we'll
Now
get
this is kind of interesting. Opie gave me some plants, some broccoli plants, last fall, but she didn't give it to me early. She let them sit around in limbo. I didn't give them the ground early, so they didn't do well. And so then they came up on over the winter, so we started eating broccoli in February. Now look at this. They're up there, and these 4 were kind of mixed around in the next row because I put them in with some other stuff, some basil I had and stuff last fall. So I thought, well, I'll transplant them. But you see how they got shocked because they're too big, really too big to transplant. Whereas the other ones, what I did with these guys, I just seeded them all down with my seeder in the fall, and then they came up in the fall, lasted over the winter, and then I transplanted them to get them on the right spacing, which is 18-inch centers. See, so what happened there is that they were young enough. They're absolutely no transplant shock. These guys are much too big, and that's why. Here, you want some? I'll try some fresh broccoli.
Sure.